What?
Right now, I've got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
Hey, and welcome everybody to our daily gun show. We come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern. That's 9 Pacific for about an hour each night. We'll do 3 gun-related topics each night, different topics throughout the week. We schedule those topics on Mondays, so if you'd like to help be part of the creation of the show, join us on Mondays, or send us an email anytime at dailygunshow@gmail.com with suggestions that you'd like to hear us talk about or hear our take on things. We run it live on YouTube. We simulcast it at gunchannels.com, where we're watching the comments that come in from the people that watch us live at midnight. We appreciate everybody that shows up and watches the show live. That's a big part of what we're trying to do here. We definitely aren't trying to be authorities on any of these subjects. We're trying not to be led by the agenda-based media out there and the news stories of the day. Instead, we just like to nerd out on guns, talk about alternative ideas and just the industry and activism. So we also like to think of this as a venture into the new media. So we appreciate our audience and the idea that the audience helps participate and create the show. It's really a conversation. We happen to be using the internet, but we're trying to play around with it as well. So thanks for everybody who enjoys that and who does participate. Both now, when we're playing the show live, or in the future. If you're listening to the show afterwards, we really do appreciate the feedback, the people that leave us comments out there on the various platforms that we push the show out to. Lets us know that you're out there as human beings. It keeps us going, but it also helps the robots, the computer brains that run the internet. It lets them know what shows to recommend and promote, and that helps us get more listeners, and that's one of our goals. So we really do appreciate the people that take the time to use the social media platforms. Be more than just an audience. Be part of an active feedback mechanism so that the internet knows what's important to us as individuals out here. And that's how we keep Second Amendment stuff. That's how we keep gun stuff viable, right? Real. So we appreciate everybody who participates in that, not just for our show, but in all the content that's out there that's valuable. We run it live also on Instagram. So we see some people out there, Concealed Carry Nations out there. Long time no see. Thanks for jumping in. We have hosts. We got Bob jumping in from Canada, as always. Thanks for joining.
Hey, glad to be here.
Bob's fighting cold, and we all know Bob is Superman, so he never gets sick, except for right now where he's super sick. So
it's not cold, it's a flu, and yeah, it's nasty.
So Bob was crying earlier and asked us all to put out our feelings towards him, so that he can get better. And we got Jimmy jumping in from Phoenix. Thanks for joining.
Hey, sub, good to be here. Thanks.
And I'm down here in Tucson. So I guess we'll get started. We're on episode number 487. It's a Tuesday, so we'll be talking about Second Amendment issues, specifically the laws in Washington State, which we saw Yankee posting some stuff about yesterday, and I don't know if anybody's got any updates on that. We'll talk about who we might want to talk to in 2018 going forward, and then we do a State of the State each Tuesday. Today we're doing Tennessee, and we do all of our normal stuff that we always do. But before we dig in, is there anything to talk about?
There was a honking big volcano in the Philippines that made 34,000 people have to run away from their homes, which I think is a good lesson for people. Don't build your home next to a volcano.
Z.
Yeah.
Okay. One of our hosts. All right. So did anybody die? I didn't see anything about a Hawaiian volcano.
I don't think anybody died, but it was the whole volcano is like spewing fire. It looks like a big giant firework.
I'm always skeptical. I'm always skeptical about things like this. A volcano, or was it some sort of underwater dimensional being from one of those rifts down there? And we're going to have some kind of robot kind of battle coming up soon.
I'm pretty sure there's not going to be a robot battle. It's the Philippines. Now, if it had been off the off the coast of Japan, maybe. But yeah, the Philippines, they don't have robots yet. They make really good 45s, but no robot.
All right. Well, so Second Amendment issues, laws in Washington State. I was actually going to reach out to Yankee and see if he wanted to join us tonight, but I've never seen him on this late. Probably can't stay up this late. Do we have anybody out there who is in Washington State or that actually knows about it, didn't just hear about it on the radio, and would be interested in jumping in and talking to us about Washington State? Otherwise, did either one of you guys do any prep work and look into this?
I actually have I got the bills sitting right here in front of me. The bills.
Oh,
Plural
okay.
bills.
I take it over.
So you want me to do one by one, or you want me to just kick them all out?
Whatever works for you. What are we even?
All right.
I just have to say, way to save your ass, Jimmy.
All I know.
Oh yeah.
That Yankee went to the Capitol yesterday on the Instagram and then had to wait outside for something, and I don't know what the hell was going on. Nobody told me nothing about any of this. So what's going on?
There was apparently, well, before we get into laws, I guess, since we're talking about that, there was around. The article says around 100 people, many with weapons on their hips or slung over their shoulder, listen to speeches from lawmakers and gun advocates about fears over proposed gun legislations. And apparently, this isn't in the article, but I was reading it on the earlier show today in the morning. And apparently, I guess they had filled up so much in there, the anti-gunners or whatever, or whoever was on the anti-gun side, that I guess some of the people had to wait outside. So maybe that's what he was talking about, or watch from the lobby or something like that. I forgot exactly what the article was, but yeah, it was something like that. But anyway, so I'll jump into the bills here. So the first one, this is SB 5444 and has a companion bill in the House. It's 1387. Would require a state license to own, sell, buy, or manufacture an assault weapon with a large capacity magazine. Then they have SB 5463 and companion bill in the House 1122 would require a firearms seller to sell or give the buyer a locked storage box and mandates that a person who leaves a firearm unlocked or accessible to someone not intended to use the weapon is guilty of community endangerment. Then we have 5992, which would ban any trigger mod devices that increases a weapon's rate of fire, like bump stocks. Then we have two more, SB 6049 and its companion 2422 would ban high cap magazines of 10 rounds or more. And we looked that up earlier, and that's a complete ban. And then we have SB 6146 and companion bill in the House 2666 would allow local governments, cities, and counties to determine their own gun regulation laws. And that's it. Well, not saying that's it like that's light, but that's a lot. But yeah.
Wow. That's outrageous. Can they do that? Is that legal? Like,
well, apparently this is I'm sorry to interrupt you, but apparently this is State Senator Jamie Peterson, Democrat from Seattle, expected both of those bills to be ready for the governor's signature by the end of the month. In reference to the bump stock ban, which would be 5992, and the high capacity magazines of 10 rounds or more, and that's the complete ban.
You got some links for this stuff? FYI?
Yeah. You want me to private, or you want me to just send it out there?
I don't want these people to know about our links. Oh wait, yeah. Well, I guess let's give them the link.
All right. Well, I'll send it private. But here's on gun channels.
that is crazy.
There, I just put the link over on dailygunchannels.com/dailygunshow, and let me get the YouTube up over here.
So why wouldn't someone who's in the know in Washington let us know about this so we could all be outraged together? I don't get
Well, my
that.
thing is around 100, not over, I'm sorry, but around 100 people. That's a decent turnout, but I'm wondering if it was that dire. I mean, I knew it was a big deal, but geez, when I was reading this today, I was almost speechless.
Yeah, that
So
sounds to me like
here
that.
now, so we'll take a look here because when you're reading that stuff, it can, you can just hear all that and it'll blend together. So let's look again. That's you'd have to have a state license to own, buy, sell, manufacture any firearm with a large capacity magazine, because they're saying assault weapon, but we all know that means any semi-auto firearm. So, I mean, anything with a large capacity magazine is anything that they consider large capacity, probably over 10.
10 or no. This is where the wording gets confusing. It says 10 or more. So I don't know if they're cutting it off at 10 or if 10 is getting banned as well.
10 or more. So,
so it's 10 and up.
Capacity magazines, 10 or more. You'd have to have a license to own anything that even accepts them, I guess. To give a buyer a locked storage box mandates a person who leaves their firearm. So now you have to lock it up, I guess. With
Every
banning. Huh?
Yeah,
You'd
and
have
it's a crime, apparently.
Not in your possession. Every time you did not have it in your hands, you'd have to have it locked up.
Right, it has to be locked up by law.
Yeah.
If it's found unlocked up, you can be charged. That's crazy.
So now we'll look back at this one in a second, and then we got the high capacity magazine, 10 rounds or more. So 10 rounds is high capacity or more. Companion bill allow local governments, cities, and counties to determine their own gun laws. So the opposite of state, whatever that's called. So now any government, any local municipality can make their own gun laws. Talk about being difficult to navigate as a firearms owner. You'd have to know the local laws before you go there. So it looks like they're going to have all this. Second, heard their rights. Okay, so then that's basically the bullet points there. But this one about any trigger modification devices that increase rate of fire. So rate of fire is the key word there. That's a characteristic that's difficult to quantify. So if we just go over to Instagram, you guys seen Max read his most recent post? Military Arms Channel.
No, I missed it.
I mean, it's basically just not too long ago, 43 minutes ago. Here's his most recent post.
How to bump fire?
Well, it's not how to, but what you're about to see is a standard semi-auto AK bump fired without the aid of any external device, just his finger, but it's going to adjust his rate of fire. I mean, he's yelling about the NRA, of course, but he's adjusting the rate of fire of that gun. I really can't mess with the volume because it's Instagram. But you get the point. He's simply bump firing. So he's increasing the rate of fire. This law is going to say that anything that screws with the rate of fire. So that means just any semi-auto then. That's crazy.
Well, or does it mean that if you can do it with your finger, then it's legal to have something that does, or I don't know. I mean, I guess
that's my thing is that they say
you're not increasing the rate of fire. That's the gun's rate of fire. Right?
No, I don't know. I think that's very open to interpretation.
Well, but that's my question though, is that they kind of like stuck themselves in a corner, I would think, because it says any trigger modifications, but then it does say such a like bump stocks, but a bump stock isn't necessarily a trigger modification, though. I mean, I wouldn't consider it one.
No, of course not. Doesn't go on the finger, the trigger, I guess, but.
If a person can do it with their finger, like what Mac was doing, right? Do bump fire with your finger and just stand there and bump fire, which you can, or even shoulder and bump fire, which you can. That, I mean, that really is standard rate of fire. That's the rate of fire the gun's capable of. To me, to my mind, it's the rate of fire the gun is capable of. Now, it's capable of far faster than we can pull our finger. So really it opens up to just, I don't know, but it means that unless you have a mechanical device that's going to do that, they shouldn't be able to touch us.
Yeah, well, it just sounds like they're getting majorly screwed over out there right now.
Yeah, as long as your mechanical device doesn't make it fire faster than you can just naturally bump fire it, it should be legal. So you just have to tune your little mechanical device to fire slower than what a person could just bump fire. That's a good way around it. Just saying.
I don't know.
Never thought of it that way before. I just thought of that just now. the way that's worded, you could take it that way. Now,
Yeah,
maybe,
but see, it's worded weird because they say any trigger modifications, and then they liken it to bump fire stocks. So I don't know if they could try to use that in some kind of way. I don't know.
well, no, it's just that you. But anything that does it say anything that changes a rifle from its standard rate of fire?
I don't believe it says anything about rate of fire. Let me see.
Yeah, it says HBSB State Bill 5992 would ban any trigger modification devices that increase
Yeah,
a weapon's rate of fire, like a bump fire stock.
But it doesn't increase its rate of fire. So, because the gun, its rate of fire has nothing to do with any part of the gun except how fast you can pull the trigger. So, if you can pull the trigger by, just shouldering it lightly and letting the gun kind of recoil, and if you can show that at a consistent speed, then anything that fires slower than that should be legal. Or is that just me being, I don't know, we need a lawyer. Because I'm being literal,
Olympia needs a lawyer.
Yeah. Well, I have a lawyer. I don't think she's very good, though. But, yeah.
Yeah, Scotty says, yeah, they're getting screwed over, but what else are they supposed to do other than write letters and vote? And that's the thing too. That's kind of crappy right now. Is that they're, if they want to pass this right now, they could pass it and then have everybody else try to fight it later. And that's crappy.
That's what you get for living in a democratic state.
Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, well, yeah.
What it's like, I live in a whole country like that. I mean, it sucks.
Oh, this one is probably a better one. Yeah, I was looking too. I was looking for like the Firearms Coalition to see if they had anything, because usually they'll have petitions or they'll have a way to like reach out and like other people outside of the state can voice their opinions as well. But somebody was saying earlier, if they're going to pass it, they're going to pass it.
Well, that's a defeatist attitude, and that's what people say when they just want to spectate. So we can,
yeah, right.
You would guarantee that they're just going to pass it if you accept that there's nothing. Well, if you suggest that there's nothing you can do, if you accept the fact that small vocal minorities pass almost everything, then number one, it means that that's a small vocal minority, and it can be put, it can go up head to head with it with another small vocal minority.
One of the reasons universities have been so screwed up over the last 10 years.
But you can guarantee that nothing will happen if you don't go do something. Now you can go do something and encourage other people to do so, and you can squelch that stuff. Once they see that there's an actual response that gets up and is an active population of people that are going to do something against it, then it's going to be more difficult for them to come back. They're not adversarial by nature. They're going to take little nibbles. They're going to take when they can. They're just like any kind of opportunist. They're going to take whenever they can. So how do you stop something like that? And how do you stop it in a way that it prevents it from happening again anytime soon? Is you stop it with a loud yell, a clap, a loud response to their nibble. And that scares them away for a while, right? So the way you do that is you bring a bunch of people together and make a big squawk about it. Make it go, don't let it go unnoticed. So it's difficult. You got California right there, and people like to say, well, it's a lost cause. It's their fault. What did you guys just say? Or Bob just said, it's too bad for voting, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, there you go. Wipe your hands of it, right? That's this dynamic that we've got in this country. We can either accept that they're part of the rowboat and they're leaking, and we can lend a hand, or we can offer assistance, or at least awareness, or we can turn the other way and keep fishing and then yell at them when we're all sunk. So if we think that it came from California and it's leaching its way up to Washington, or if it's leaking from Washington down, either way, we've known it's already going to Nevada ineffectively, but it went to Nevada. So, we're going to wait for it's got California. We're going to wait for Idaho and kill half the suppressor manufacturer.
Yeah.
Utah. which other states are we going to sacrifice? So we need to start figuring out ways in 2018 to not just bitch that the NRA isn't doing what we want, but instead do what we want the NRA to do, what we're frustrated that the NRA isn't doing, right? It's not enough to say, I don't like what the NRA is doing. Get up off your ass and do something, or at least be vocal about some ideas so that somebody can champion it. Somebody's going to get off their ass and go in the direction.
We start speaking the truth, that the great equalizer for women. I mean, this whole thing now is Me Too, right? Women being abused, and the great equalizer in a situation where a woman, you know, feels defenseless and powerless is nice 38 special, you know, or a little 380 or whatever, right? It makes that 100-pound woman equal to a 200-pound man. And so as long as we make the point that by trying to suppress gun ownership and suppress gun rights and Second Amendment, they're actually encouraging women to be abused. And it really is what they're doing. They don't want to admit it, but look at what these people are like anyway, right? I mean, they're you know, the Hollywood producer types, right? They don't want women to have power.
I don't know where you're getting that from, Bob. I don't know if you're loopy on. We're talking about Washington laws, and you took it to females, and now you're on what's his name's couch. So,
well, anyway. But I'm just saying that, you know, if we can make them realize that you know, the firearm, especially the self-defense firearm, you're carrying is.
No, I don't agree.
How could you not agree with that?
Because right now is the time for getting human beings to Washington State. The time to try to theoretically change someone's mind is gone. We do that in the off time. If they're actively pursuing these 5 bullet points that we were just looking at, that are, what's the result? I was looking at the bullet points. I didn't look at what the time frame is. Consider this session registered contested this morning.
Right.
Session is Monday morning. So did it already happen?
Yeah, it already happened yesterday. Well, yeah, Monday. And they were saying right underneath the bullet points, it goes into how the governor should have a couple of the bills signed by the end of the month.
Yeah, it says that expected both of these bills to be ready for the governor's signature. I mean, now is the time to do something, not to try to change somebody's mind on whether or not it's a female rights thing. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, that's fine if you're going to have a debate with somebody. That's a valid position to take. But you don't get up in front of a bunch of people right now and start pleading that case. I say now you need to mobilize as many people as possible in the state of stupid Washington to prevent this. They're about to have to we're about to lose it to these California right there. That's no high capacity magazines and all kinds of slippery slope on their trigger. Not to mention, what's the repercussions of having to keep any gun you're not aware of locked, with, you know, with consequences of going to jail.
You're crazy.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, so what are we going to do? We talk about an interview next year or this year.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean,
we couldn't even get anybody from Washington State to jump in here, so I don't know if we just don't.
Well, I don't think they really care. I mean, it really comes down to that's, you know, you said that's part of the problem. I just don't have any solution. I don't have anything I can say about it.
But at least some of us are finding good deals at Palmetto State.
Yeah, those Gen 2 308.
Let's keep going. So we're going to talk about who we might want to interview on the show in 2018. We're going to be going to SHOT Show next week, so we have an opportunity to meet up with people and maybe even do some quick interviews, or at least schedule some times to do something like that. Before we do, though, we usually feature one of the members over at Gun Channels each day. Between the first and second segment, today we're featuring Ponnery. There's actually a theme this week. We'll see if people can figure it out. So Ponnery is one of the active members during the day and sometimes in the evenings, but the way his work works out, he's able to host lobbies from home and then join in for a portion of the day while he's at work. And yeah, I think he's really helped keep Gun Channels during the day like a whole viable thing. It's made it really interesting for people. I certainly would rather watch Gun Channels lobby during the day than listen to any kind of radio show or anything that's, again, driven by the national radio agenda or the national news agenda, I guess, where, you know, they seem to just kind of be in lockstep. If one of them says one thing, the whole other side is saying the other thing, and they're just content to, you know, go issue after issue down some sort of calendar, keep us all distracted from what's actually happening. You know, it just happens to be a couple of days off or behind from what was going on, instead of actually being proactive or just talking about real things. So I think Pawnery's lobbies have really given us an alternative to that old garbage. So
Yep.
thanks.
Yeah. Pawnery's a good dude too. I like talking to him. He can be a little opinionated sometimes, but I think apparently I've been accused of that as well. So
Pawnery's all right. That's all I got. Yeah, he's definitely a good dude. Good to have around, good conversation. Plenty of information. So, yep.
him and Jimmy have had their disagreements, you can tell.
Right,
No, I like Sean.
So like I say, there is a theme going on this week. If you can figure it out, then let us know. But we'll move on to this wild card segment, and we leave this segment open so that we can do interviews. And I figured we might talk about who we might want to interview this year. And since I guess we're all part of the show, being hosts, who we might want, and then whoever's listening, we consider you our audience because you're watching us say this stuff. Let us know who you might want us to interview. Can't guarantee, but we can always try.
Gun Chick and what's her name? Kirsten.
How about, here's a requirement. You got to know their names before it goes on the list. How about that? You can't just be like,
that guy with that Molly on his vest.
that one broad, that guy, the revolver.
Gun Chick. She's got a YouTube channel. She's been on Max. Channel.
He's talking about American Gun Chick.
Well, yeah, I just call her Gun Chick.
Yeah.
Might have her on because she's actually, and if we're going to have her on, should have Clover on at the same time because she's a young shooter, and we want to hear how and Clover trains young shooters. So I think that'd be a good balance.
Was that the same girl that she did like a mini gun shop tour? Like she did like a local gun shop loophole kind of tour thing? I mean, it wasn't a loophole tour, obviously, but
I didn't see that.
Oh, I thought that was the one that she made like a little video where she went around different shops in her town or something. But yeah, that'd be cool. I'm trying to think who I'd really like.
You guys have got it. Kristen Joy Weiss. I want to have her on, but not with Clover because apparently they don't like each other. But yeah, I just want to have her on just because I just want to hear her voice. But no, she is an amazing shot. Like some of the stuff I've seen her do on YouTube, it's just like, oh, I'm gobsmacked, right? You know. Plus, yeah, she's gorgeous. I turned my camera on for that one. Even comb my beard.
Wow. Yeah, man. I don't know. Now, is this interviews just people to interview, or is this interviews that we would have on the Daily Show?
Oh, to have on the Daily Show.
What are you talking about?
Oh.
We're talking about the Daily Show. I'm interviewing people for your show.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know. Who would you like to see interviewed or something? I don't know. But
oh, I see what you're saying. No, I meant for us, like who we should interview, yeah, for this show. Not just like I'd like to see some astronaut interviewed or something.
Yeah, I'd like to see fucking, Yankee interview the gun collective guys or something like that. Like, yeah, okay, I got you.
That would be actually a topic. That should be, somebody should mention that to Matt. Top 5 interviews that would be epic. And
yeah, that would be a good one.
They could get beyond the boring inside jokes and actually get to valid ones like Kalashnikov interviewing Stoner or something like that.
That would be interesting, especially with the meetings that they did have. That would have been.
Yeah, actually, wouldn't that have been early on in their careers more an interrogation rather than a interview?
Well, they met before. Like they were kind of cool. I don't know if you would call it friends, but they were.
Yeah, they were definitely
tolerated
2 or 3 times. Yep. Jimmy, get out of here. If you don't even know that, you're out of here.
Yeah. See,
you have a certain level of question.
Jimmy makes a mistake and he's just turfed now because he was almost late today, so he's on the.
If you don't know if red flashing pop shit like that, then you're out of here. I guess we'll let him back in.
We can let him back in as long as he doesn't screw up again.
Well, I knew they respected each other, but I didn't know that they were like buddy buddy like that.
It's got to be memorized. All right, let's keep going. Let's try to move past this. Anyhow, so let's see. So we're seeing if anybody else is saying stuff.
Oh yeah, they're all saying stuff that I don't know how the hell we'd even find these people. Like one guy, get the shovel. Oh, that's steadily. Get the shovel AK guy and Century Arms so he can inform them how to build a Kalashnikov. Yeah, American Gun Chick. Yeah, she's cool. I mean, I like her for a young girl. I mean, she seems to have her shit together. So, Bunny Hunter, man, I'd love to, but I don't know how good she'd be because as much as I respect her for being able to skin a bunny rabbit and cook it and eat it, she seems dumb as a bag of hammers.
Well, now she's going to be on the show. So thanks, Edge.
Right, sign her up.
Like that, and then knowing Bob's.
No, I mean, I'd love if she came on and just showed me.
Yeah, definitely.
She's a really smart girl.
I'm almost positive. Like, I'm taking that challenge.
She's a really smart girl, and she's got a degree in astrophysics and stuff. I'd be just like, oh fuck, I'm an idiot. Sorry. Can I see your titties?
Let's move on. What the fuck?
Yeah, we should move on.
So, state of Tennessee.
Tennessee? Do they even have gun laws? I thought they were all wild, crazy hillbillies out there.
All right. Let's get into the state of the state here. Gun laws in Tennessee. Actually, yeah, they're pretty good. So do they need a state permit to purchase? No for long guns or handguns. Firearm registration? No. Assault weapon laws? No. Magazine capacity restrictions? No. Owner license required? No. Carry permits? Excuse me. For handguns, yes. Permits shall issue. Concealed or open carry of a handgun is allowed with permit. As of July 1st, 2014, due to the Enhanced Castle Doctrine law, a person may keep a loaded handgun or long gun in their private vehicle without a permit. As of July 1st, 2017, persons who can legally purchase a firearm and are protected by a protection order may carry a handgun without a license for 60 days from the date of the protection order being issued. Loaded long gun carry in public is generally illegal, with exceptions for activities such as hunting in approved areas. Unloaded long gun carry is not prohibited. Open carry prohibited, yes, for long guns and handguns. Open carry, of loaded handguns is permitted for those who have been issued a license to carry. Long guns may only be carried unloaded, like just said. State preemption of local restrictions, yes, for long guns and handguns. State preemption per TCA 39-17-1314A. Local governments may post signs per TCA 39-17-1359 to prohibit carry on government property. Local government may not, however, prohibit firearms in locally owned, operated parks and other recreational areas. NFA weapons restrictions, no. Shall certify? Yes. Shall certify within 15 days. Excuse me. Peaceable journey laws? No. Federal rules are observed. Self-defense laws? Yes, for both. There is no duty to retreat before using deadly force as long as you are acting lawfully and are in a place you have a right to be in. It is presumed you had a reasonable fear of imminent death or serious bodily injury if someone unlawfully and forcibly enters a residence, business, dwelling, or vehicle. And finally, background checks for private sales, no, on both long guns and handguns. Oh wait, that was not finally. There's some notes and exceptions. So public establishments where any alcoholic beverages of any type are served. It's illegal for anyone to possess a handgun while under the influence of alcohol or any other controlled substances. It's lawful to possess a firearm on the premises of a public place where alcoholic beverages are served as long as such individual is not consuming alcohol. The allowable blood alcohol level for a handgun carry permit holder in public possession of a loaded firearm is exactly 0.0. So there is a zero tolerance. Blood tests can establish intoxication by narcotics. Peaceable journey laws apply. And if in a HCP holder has a drink, it is allowable to unload the firearm and lock it in the trunk of a vehicle provided the driver is under .08. Any room where judicial proceed. So this is every place where they can't carry. It's a public establishment where alcoholic beverages are served. Any room where a judicial proceeding is taking place, schools, some local public parks, and any area, building, property posted with a notice per TCA 3917-1351 or 59. Sorry. So besides those minor little add-ins that they have there, not that bad.
Good. Do we have anybody listening from Tennessee?
No, probably not. They don't care. They just don't care. No one cares. Sorry, guys. I got the flu, and I'm in a really bad place, right?
You can just stay muted.
Grumpy.
So,
I'm grumpy. I'm the grumpy old man tonight. You know, everybody always says I am. Now I am. So there. Anyway, no, I mean it like some of their laws seem pretty reasonable, but then some other ones are just like shit. So I don't know. I still, I mean, just to be able to say you live in Tennessee, especially for somebody who's like, you know, me, it would just explain things so much better. Then people would just go, "Oh, okay," instead of "What do you mean?"
All right. So we're going to move on to the gun shop of the day. One of the reasons we started doing the show a long time ago is so we could feature a gun shop every day, and somebody suggested this one. It sounds pretty interesting. It's in Pennsylvania, and it's called Cole's Bicycle Shop and Gun Store. So I tried looking for a website. I guess it's this one, but they don't really do much of the gun shop stuff on here, it looks like. So on their Facebook, though, it does have the gun shop part in there. And it says, excellent selection of firearms in the basement. Bought an Arasaka there. And what we were told, I guess I can't bring this up on that screen without telling all our secrets, but something to the effect of they had a bunch of guns during World War II as a place people stored their guns. And then after the war, not everybody picked them up. So some of the owners started selling some of them, and that turned into a gun shop. So kind of neat. I guess Midnight sent this one to us. I had not heard of anything like that. It's pretty cool.
That's actually really cool. Yeah. I want to go there just because, I mean, I kind of like bicycles and I really like guns. So
I don't know how to get to that. Facebook is so stupid.
Yeah, I was just reading that in the notes over here. That was kind of cool. Picked up some guns. The owner started selling them. Now it's a tiny basement gun shop. It's pretty neat.
So that's exactly the kind of thing we want to feature. Little shops like that are interesting and inspire people to remember you've got a camera in your pocket. If you're walking around with a phone, you got a pretty decent camera there. And well, pretty much only 10% of gun shops, in my experience, have any problem with you taking pictures as you walk in. Ask whoever's in charge, okay, take a few pictures and share them with the internet. Like I say, 9 out of 10 have told me it's good to go. Take some pictures, share it on whatever your favorite social media platform is. And I'm going to mute Bob because you're getting a weird echo. And whatever your platform of choice is, share those pictures. The pictures themselves are going to help other people see what kind of gun shops are out there. Maybe a little inspire somebody else to take a picture of their shop. But those links that you're putting out there are invaluable. Places like this one we just looked at today only has a Facebook page. So they're needing to have exposure out there on the web. So if you post something on your blog or on your gun channels page or on YouTube or Facebook or wherever it happens to be with a link to whatever it is they're doing online with their phone number or an address, all of those things are read by the internet. Those robots that keep track of the internet, like the big switchboard operators, and those become valuable to those gun shops. That's one of the reasons we encourage people to do it, and we hope to inspire people to think about gun shops like that. As a customer, you can actually be helping them out quite a bit. Same way that crowdfunding or that thumbs up on a video can make it rise in the popularity. The same thing you can do with your real life gun shops that you enjoy out there. All right, that's enough said with that. We can move on to, what do we want to move on to next?
Is Bob able to do the gun of the day? We can hold off on that, I guess.
I can do the gun of the day. We're doing the Beretta M9.
The Beretta.
Well, Beretta, yeah, that's my spelling. But anyway, the Beretta M9, and yeah, it's just it's actually a classic handgun. I think I know Matt loves his Taurus version, or likes it because somebody used it on some TV show. But no, I actually really I was this close to buying one. It was in between that and my SIG, and I got the SIG just because I always wanted a SIG, because that's what the FBI's special units use on TV. But anyway, the Beretta, man, that thing was...
I feel like you're about to find out that you made a good decision in getting the SIG instead of the Beretta.
I don't know. The Beretta's got some real pedigree. I mean, it was the military's gun for a long time when they finally decided that it wasn't cool just to use a Colt all the time. So they decided, oh, we're going to get something Italian and be really cool and slinky. And then they found out, it's not so good. So then they had to go for something like SIG, and then it's like, Yeah, eventually they're going to come back to God's own gun and go with the Browning high power, I think.
Well, ninjas can definitely defeat Berettas.
Right. So we'll fast forward. They can also load magazines, I guess. That was half this stupid video. So there you go. Loaded stupid Beretta, stupid 9mm, weak, garbage round, breaks up families. And then what happens? Ninja comes along, takes your slide. Stupid gun. Dumb gun.
Yeah, why are ninjas able to do that?
Because the gun is designed poorly.
You can just squeeze the sides of it and it comes apart?
Yeah,
those two little takedowns.
You just push on that button on the other side, right? Yeah. Push down on that lever.
And it's out.
Now, if the ninja wants to, he just jabs that in your neck, as seen in Paris with Love.
Yeah.
So,
man, that's a design fault. I never thought that of the gun. I just never saw that before. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't buy one. I really am now. I'm glad I got my SIG.
For one thing, 9mm, even if they have this gun, they pull it out.
9mm is nothing wrong with it. You're just poking holes in a person. You just got to poke them in the right place.
They're going to freeze. And you're going to grab that slide, jab it with it.
Seriously, dude, the whole thing with 9mm is silly. I keep saying it doesn't matter what size the hole you poke in them. It matters where you poke the hole.
Yep.
I feel like you've never faced down a ninja before.
Yeah, Bob's lives in Fantasyland, Canada, where things never happen. Snowflake, Canada, snowflakes, right?
You know what? When they started talking, about doing ninjas and all that shit, I was like, ninjas? What are they going to do? Sneak around in the dark? Yeah. Like, well, that's stupid, because we'll just
light them up. Beer. Now we're moving along. Now he's drinking a beer. It's just going to get worse. So, where were we at?
I gotta hydrate myself. I have the flu.
Let's speed this thing along here now.
Now just mute, because Bob's obligations are all been satisfied till the end. So we did our gun shop of the day. We did our everything except for the movie, I guess. So now we're going to talk about a movie called Boondock Saints. It's a gun movie. Everybody seen it?
Classic.
Oh, and what guns did they use, by the way?
Some guns that nobody cares about.
There's suppressors on theirs, though. It would have been a little bit harder for a ninja to get to it.
Pretty good movie. We try to come up with a gun movie every day, and I think this is, I don't know too many people that don't like it. It's kind of a goofy movie, but it's definitely a gun movie. What is it? It's like something happens, and then they have to go revenge, or some kind of revenge.
They're going for revenge because their priest got killed or something. They're Catholic. They used to be IRA agents or something.
No, what? No.
I don't know. They were some kind of terrorists, but now they're going to be, good guys and go after this revenge killing. And yeah, they had a fetish with ropes. And yeah, it was a good movie, though. I really enjoyed it.
There's Bob's NyQuil never induced. Well,
Bob's fever dream called Boondock Saints.
That's a great way to say it. He's on a dream quest where he just happened to be part of it tonight. So I think I'm going to give it, I guess I'll give it 1. I know a lot of people give it 2, but I'm going to give it 1.
I'm going to give it 2, but I'm also going to do like I did with Reds and add the second movie in there. So I'm giving a thumb apiece. I don't know if that's allowed in the rules, but I did it last time and nobody said nothing. So
tell me if I'm crazy. Here's what I'm doing. I've never seen number 2 because I like number 1, and people say that number 2 is good. I've even heard people say number 2 is just as good.
Yep.
So I figured there's very few movies that I haven't ever seen before. And this way, if there's ever a time when I'm like, damn it, I want to watch like a movie I have never seen before, I've got this one in reserve. So that's one of the movies that I'm keeping in reserve in case I ever just want to watch a decent movie that I've never seen ever.
Rainy Day, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it 2 thumbs up and Hold On by a Rope because that was a good movie. Really liked it. I love the whole IRA thing, the Catholic Protestant, intermarriage and everything. It was great.
Well, now I feel bad. Everybody is saying the second movie sucks, and then Night Strike says it's awesome. So now I'm like, crap. Second movie probably sucks. Night Strike's crazy.
I like the second movie. It was the second movie. You just said it was weird, kind of, right? So the second movie gets a little bit weirder, but there's more comedy in it, and you'll like it. Don't take it seriously, and you'll like it.
Okay, yeah, I don't
comedy.
I'm not getting any Boondock Saint tattoos or nothing. I'm not like in my life because of the movie or anything.
What is wrong with Night Strike? He doesn't like me. I don't know why. I'm always nice to him.
Anybody would be. Anyway, let's keep moving. So,
so let's wrap this thing up then, right?
How about you let us take care of the show?
you relax.
You can finish the rest of the show, but I'm just looking at the clock here, and we got like 10 minutes, maybe 15, and then we're
okay. And it would go a lot smoother if you just mute yourself and sit back, drink another bottle of NyQuil, and we'll call on you when you're needed again.
Hey, I'm just keeping you on the track
by interrupting completely. So
hey, guess what, guys?
I wasn't interrupting. Jimmy just interrupted. Oh, see, wasn't me.
Oh Jesus! Hopefully something will save us. But you guys know what that sound means. Time to crack them knuckles, whip out them keyboards, and get ready for the daily tactical pop quiz. Today we are going to do a little bit different. We're going to do a little visual test again. See where your guys' identification skills are at. Let me screen share here real quick. And what is that? What is that?
I like the visual ones.
I enjoy them as well.
Is it a dildo from the 1870s?
No. They should stay muted, Bob. Shotgun, a short barrel shotgun, a shockwave.
Nope, not a shockwave. And short barrel shotgun is not good enough. That safety, that curved short grip.
An 870 FBI shoddy? No.
Close, but no cigar.
There was a time before 8 months ago when short shotguns existed. Start thinking back with it.
Michael Camps thinks it's a Maverick 88.
Never. It wouldn't make it to the show.
And it's not an Ithaca, no. And it's not a Remington 817. There's a name for this particular
style.
Model, style,
yeah. Look at the safety.
Looks like it's got a dome safety from Van Comp.
How long are you going to drag this out? Come on.
a Treasury Department safety, Narshadi.
There's the entire thing now. So
that's sweet. That is sweet. It's not a TAC 14. Although it'd be nice to make a TAC 14 look like that if you have to get a wood grip for it. Whereas out this time and nobody's gonna get it. Will it end up? Nobody's gonna get it.
No, I think it's got to call that. I mean, I can't believe nobody saw that. You just look at the whole action and everything and go, oh, of course.
So plenty of Remington. It's obviously a Remington, and it looks like it's based off the 870. However, it is a name for this particular one, and there is Google. Everybody had a chance, and we will have a no winner tonight. That's what happens sometimes.
Well, we're going to throw this one back in the archives, guys, and maybe someone will get it later.
I'm totally appalled. I mean, I'm just
AOW. That's all right. So it looks like people got some homework to do. Learn your shotguns. So we got some gun history today. It's an interesting day. Looking through on the regular history, it looks like in 1912, Scott reached the South Pole a month after Edmondson. So it looks like in 1912 was when they were just getting down to the South Pole. Otherwise, nothing else gun that way. But then we do have some real gun stuff happening. So I'm going to flip screens. And because we do the show at midnight now, we kind of can cover 2 days. We already talked yesterday about this, but January 16th is the executive action. So let's not forget. We became really unified, solidified as a community, as a what unified us was the ownership of firearms, but also the resolution to the rights that the Second Amendment protects. And we came together because of this, because of an assault. But we don't need to wait for an assault to get together. And hopefully in 2018 we can figure out ways to unify our messages and to amplify our efforts to, again, be loud enough so that we're a political adversary that the other side doesn't want to deal with. And it just is simple as getting our voice together like we've done before. So now our challenge is to do so without something like those executive actions staring us down. But let's also remember that these 23 executive actions came through at a time when we had the worst atrocity ever, that the politically was used, they used a firearm, and the people exploited that. And they had everything going for them. They had, all the votes, they had everything. What they didn't have was the opinion of the entire nation. So it was our resistance to that in a peaceful way. Let's remember that we did this completely peacefully. And it was our resistance to that prevented this from just being a given, being walked through. So thanks to everyone. Let's remember that we did that successfully. And it's our challenge to figure out how to do that again and again so that we don't have to deal with this eventuality. And then the other thing if we want to flip over to tomorrow, let's remember that on January 17th, 1990, Smith & Wesson debuted the Smith & Wesson cartridge at SHOT Show. And what happened? Gadsden Glock walked over, grabbed a couple of samples, walked back over to his booth, told his engineers to get cracking, and the Glock 22 came to public. It was ready for the retail before Smith & Wesson was even able to launch a firearm with their own cartridge. So there you go, 9mm people. Let's remember today is the birthday of 40. It's a good day to go buy a 40 patch over on gear websites. Any purchase gets you in the running for those free knives. So go buy a 40 patch while supplies last on the birthday of the 40, all day tomorrow. Congratulations, 40s. It's your day.
Good job.
Just push over those 9mm people tomorrow. They can't do nothing about it.
Oh, please. The 40 is so overrated.
Whatever. It's its birthday, so quit talking smack on something's birthday.
Yeah, can it have one thing?
Happy 40 day, everybody.
All it can have its birthday, all right? Where are we at now? I almost done this, mother.
Time and think about 40. Think about all the way that the free world has benefited from the 40. And
how? No one uses it but the Americans.
Exactly.
You know what? You're not the whole world.
Peace to the world. The world knows it.
Please.
Act up. 40's waiting for him.
Check and mate.
Check and mate.
And yeah, who owns all the 40 ammunition? Homeland Security.
Me.
Yeah.
All right. So let's keep moving. So Do we have anything else today? We talked about Second Amendment issues in Washington State. Let's not forget that something's going on up there. And we can either let them sync with California and Oregon and Nevada and maybe Utah. Arizona has universal background checks on the ballot. Don't think that we're somehow immune to people leaking in from California. They live in Prescott. They live in Phoenix, the capital of our state. Old people that lived here and were our bastion of conservative voting are dying. Literally, they're old. They're dying. So as the Californians, tax themselves out of living over there, the rich ones come over here, make our property values go up, turn this into new California, and don't have Arizona as an anchor anymore. So if you think that California doesn't lead the way, then I don't know, you're not listening to this show probably. You're not enjoying this show at least. So we talked about laws in Washington, and we talked about who we might interview. Bob ruined that. And then we got to the state of Tennessee. Thanks, Jimmy, for doing that every single week, coming up with the stuff like that.
Oh, he was late.
Whatever. Next week, we're going to be talking about Oklahoma. So if anybody from Oklahoma wants to jump in and talk about the laws then jump in on Tuesday. And tomorrow, it's episode 488. We'll be talking about Civil War movies and TV shows. We'll be doing Good Idea, Bad Idea on Wear an Ear Pro all day long. It's a weird one. And then we'll be doing the hashtag Daily Gun Show Showdown. So if you want to be part of the show in a different way, take some pictures, post them on Instagram, use the hashtag Daily Gun Show. We'll take a look at all the ones that came in since last week. We judge them, and then we're going to pick the best picture on the Instagrams. And if you want to be the best picture, use the hashtag and take the best picture. But imagine stuff will happen between now and then.
Yeah, just reminding everybody that all happens for free, just so you know.
Yeah. And I've never won, by the way, even though I took some badass pictures. So,
Yeah, it's true. We don't even charge them for that. I feel like maybe we should charge them per everybody that uses the hashtag, and then like an extra charge to the winner.
Like $1 a hashtag or something.
Well, we don't. Yeah. We don't. It's like a totally free service that we provide. So you're welcome.
Yeah. But yeah, you are correct though. And something is going on tomorrow. Something is going on tomorrow. So the early watch.
Tomorrow? What?
Huh?
What?
Fucking Bob. The early watch is coming on tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Eastern.
By some other show to ruin our show now or something.
Yeah, well, since this show's going down, might as well bring up another one. Yeah, so early watch will be on tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Gunchannels.com will be sprinkled with lobbies. There'll be a lobby after the early watch, in the afternoon, running into the evening and the primetime stuff, which will lead us into Clover Tech and his next generation chat at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then Never Enough Ammo will be having his Guns and Politics chat at 9 Eastern. And obviously another lobby or the same lobby will be up, and then wrap your night up right with the Daily Gun Show.
All right. At this point, I'm kind of watching the chats and stuff, and I just want to say, like, suck it up, buttercups. The answer was the answer we chose. If, it wasn't acceptable to you, too bad. I mean, honest to God, this is our show, so we'll do it our way, and I don't mean to be mean about that. It's just that's the only way to be fair, is whatever our answer is the answer. So, and on that, I think we're done, right? So we can wrap it up.
No.
What? No.
Going to let people know that we are running a special this week, trying to raise some funds for SHOT Show, as well as clean out some inventory. So any purchase over at the Gear website store is going to be a qualifying entry, I guess, towards the knife giveaway. So we've got a set of Mora knives. It's like a mini collection, some different eras, some different blade steel, some different types of Mora knives. So if you're interested in starting a collection, that's a good jump start, or an addition to your collection. Or if you're just looking for some useful knives, Moras are very useful knives. They all are brand new, basically, have lots of life left in them. So it's a nice collection of knives you might get for basically free. You might buy whatever you buy at the Gear website store, you'll get whatever that is. And then we also have that Gonzo knife, which is kind of a nice Axis style folding knife, and then a kind of a novelty junk assortment of knives as well. The $25 or more gets a free patch with no coupons ever, so that's always part of it. And we're also trying to reduce inventory, so anytime you buy 5 items or more in any order, we're going to include one of our resin casted little mini revolvers that we made for videos back in the day. And I guess everybody's leaving on Instagram right now. So thanks for tuning in tonight. And again, you can jump over to the gear website store. Every single purchase is an entry towards those knives. At this point, there's not a lot of people who have ordered. So there's not very, it's pretty good odds. But we are trying to raise funds for SHOT Show next week and for other stuff that we try to do. So and reduce some of that inventory. So we encourage you to check out the gear website store at gearwebsites.com.
All right. I think now it's okay for the quote because we're actually right on time. That's actually impressive. That was good. You did that. So today's quote's going to be by Jeff Cooper. Everybody knows, famous firearms instructor, very bright, intelligent man. Before that, though, I just want to remind everybody, please like, share, subscribe, hit the like button. I'm looking right now how many likes we got. 24 likes, 30 watching. Come on. Like, really? 60, you can't bother to hit that little button? All right, whatever. Anyway, let's go on with the quote. Hey, if you want to support us on Patreon, the link is in the show description. So the quote today, like I say, Jeff Cooper. Safety is something that happens between your ears, not something you hold in your hands. Very wise words. Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Bacon pancakes. Take some bacon and I'll put it in a pancake. Bacon pancakes, that's what it's gonna make. Bacon pancakes. Bacon pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Take some bacon and I'll put it